So I'm 29 and I'm single on Valentine's Day. Growing up, I feel like everyone around me had the expectation of being married by 30. Obviously, society has changed since I was a kid and people are settling down a lot later, but there's still an expectation and a pressure to have it all by 30. Even though that's not the norm anymore. You have to have the perfect partner, to own your home, to be obsessed with your job, the list goes on. But I would say the biggest pressure falls on being single. As if you expire at 30 and you'll never find love if you haven't found it yet. As soon as I turned 25, I started getting the whole, you're pushing 30, what about this, what about that? As if I didn't have 5 years until 30, as if 30 was the cutoff. Now today is Valentine's Day and I am single at the end of my 20s, so let's talk about it. First of all, the title's a little bit of an exaggeration. I am single, but I am certainly not alone and neither are you. Just because you're single doesn't mean that you are alone. Those two things do not go hand in hand, they don't. But I am spending today with myself and we're gonna have a fantastic Valentine's Day. Now, I am very lucky to be in a position in my life where I have so many people that I love that like genuinely care about each other. I feel less alone now than I have in my previous relationships. And I think that says a lot because a lot of people look at, you know, having a partner and think like, once I have that, I'm gonna be happy. That's gonna complete everything. But that is so not true. And I have seen that, like I have watched that throughout my relationships and being single. And so I thought for the second episode of this series, we would talk about love and relationships, and what better day to do it than Valentine's Day. So I know that typically, stereotypically, single girls hate Valentine's Day, but I am a girl who loves love. Like, why not treat yourself to cute little heart-shaped waffles, a little heart coffee, literally all of the cutest, girliest things. Why not just do with yourself? I think as I've gotten older, I just like doing the cute stuff. I don't need a guy to do it for me. And quite honestly, like, are they gonna make heart-shaped waffles? Probably not. Probably not. Unless you have like a super romantic partner. I just don't see most men waking up in the morning thinking, let's make heart-shaped waffles. Like, we just like the cute stuff, and we can do it ourselves. They're delicious. We have vanilla protein waffles. And they are good. They are good. I think Valentine's Day is just like the perfect day and perfect excuse to celebrate love. It's become very materialistic. It's all about the show and, you know, the biggest flowers and whatever, like all the stupid stuff. But like, I think you get to choose how you want to celebrate this day, if you want to celebrate it all. Like, it's just another day, really. But I'm choosing to celebrate myself. Because why not? Why not? Starting today off with a very special little treat. I'm getting treated to a facial. Just got myself dressed, obviously sticking to the theme, and I'm gonna head downtown, have a little facial. I'm really looking forward to it. So we're gonna start the day there. Hello. It's a little chilly out. Skin looks incredible. It's so glowy. That was so nice. What a wonderful little treat. Thank you so much, Dermalogica, for having me. Now I'm walking somewhere that I love, but I haven't been to in the city. And I'm so excited. Wow, it's real. Oh my God, it's my sandwich. This can't be happening. Well, I have to get it. No way. Can I get a small latte, please?
Perfect. Thank you very much. You too.
Hello. It is truly a wonderful day. It's 3 o'clock. I just got home. Sky is blue. The sun is shining. Like, truly nothing could have ruined this day for me just on that alone. But then you add the rest. Oh, it's wonderful. Having a wonderful day. Feels good to be alive. So first of all, Dermalogica sent me home with some products that I'm really excited about. We have a moisturizer, a toner, a serum. Wonderful. They were all used during the facial and my skin looks so good and fresh. And then of course, they opened up a legit Pret, like a full standalone store here, and they had my sandwich. I could not believe it. Now, they did change the sandwich a little bit. Like, there's cranberries in here, which it's not my favorite thing in the world, but like, I had to have it. And then I got myself a little latte. Just a little latte for my lovely day. If you know, you know. Now, I would have spent more time actually walking around downtown today, but it's freezing outside, like freezing. Otherwise, I would have done a nice little solo stroll around the city, but not today. But I have my sandwich. Cheers. Oh my God, I can't believe I'm eating this right now. This is fantastic. Let's talk about love. So I have been lucky enough in my life to have experienced different types of love, different types of relationships, and each one of them was so valuable to me becoming who I am right now. I definitely learned a lot from each and every one of them, and I want to share them with you guys. So focusing specifically on romantic relationships, I have had 3. My very first relationship, I was 16, and it was the very innocent, first time puppy dog kind of love where I was in high school, I was smitten, I wanted a boyfriend, and it was the first time I ever felt like I was in love with somebody. Now, as I got older and I moved past that relationship, I used to look back thinking that was not love. Like, I was 16, I didn't know what love was, but I have different perspective on that now. I believe that I was absolutely in love in the way that I knew how to love at the time. Obviously that changes and evolves, and had evolved in each of the relationships I had after that. But at 16 years old, that is what I knew love to be. And I think that that is a very special type of love as well, because it was my first time, and there was so much newness and excitement over it. And I remember just absolutely adoring him. Like, if I didn't see him for a few days, I was jumping up and down, like so excited to see him again. It was that kind of love, but also looking back, there was a lot that was wrong with that relationship. It was the very first time in my life that I allowed myself to be smaller. And that was not the last time, but it was definitely the first time, because I valued wanting to be with somebody more than I valued myself. At the beginning of our relationship, he was a year older than me, and he was too embarrassed to be seen with me, so I accepted the treatment where we'd pass each other in the halls and he acted like I didn't exist because he didn't want anyone to know we were dating, and I had to keep it a secret. That was treatment that I accepted because I didn't know better. I don't think badly about him because of it. Like, we were so young and insecure and so unsure of ourselves. By the end of our relationship, which was a year and a half, 2 years, that had totally changed, and we were out there, people knew we were together. That was just like my first experience ever. It was my first experience in a relationship, like a real one. I ended up breaking up with him when he went to university, and I was in my last year of high school. I just wanted to like be free and be single when I was 18, and that was that. The second love that I experienced was the super high highs and the super low lows, the toxic kind of love. This one I think is harder to look back on, because being the person I am now and, you know, the experiences I've had, I can look back at the very, very, very beginning of that relationship and see all of the signs that I should have avoided. But at the same time, I was 21, you know? What do you know at 21? You don't know as much as you do at 29, that's for sure. And I put up with a lot of things because I was so head over heels in love with this person, so in love, the kind of love where like I just wanted to touch him all the time. It was a unique experience because I had never experienced such high highs and then the lows to be that low. When things were good with us, I just couldn't imagine my life without him. Like, he was my best friend. I loved being with him. But then there would be the lows that are unimaginable to me now. Like, I'm so sad for myself. I'm so sad when I think back about that. It's so strange for me to look back at those 4 years we were together on and off and see the positives alongside the negatives, because the negatives were horrific. It was the kind of relationship where if I ever tried to communicate any of my feelings towards something negative or something that I felt like could be improved, it was immediately turned back onto me. Like, how dare I? I was the one with no friends, a dying career. I was annoying. I was no fun. I was the least fun person he had ever known. The list goes on and on. And then he would say sorry and I would forgive him because I wanted those highs. It was the dopamine. It was the dopamine, people. And I also just didn't know myself better. I didn't have the confidence to respect myself until I did. I will always have a lot of empathy for people that go through toxic relationships and don't know how to get out or go back to them, because I get it. It's easy to look back on the outside and be like, how could you ever stay with somebody that speaks to you that way? How do you not leave immediately? But when you love somebody and you're told, I promise you, I'm never gonna do that again. I promise you I'm gonna change. You just want to believe them. You want to trust. But over time, like, the trust just goes away because they continue to fail you. And through that, you fall out of love and you start to find the courage in yourself to find better. The day that I ended that relationship for good was the first time that I truly recognized that I am capable of a lot more than I thought. I'm stronger and braver than I ever thought, and I started to gain my confidence back. It has not been linear, and no matter what, there's always gonna be days where you feel insecure, but anytime you do something that you know is for your better good, you just grow in confidence. And that relationship was my biggest learning lesson of my life. I think sometimes you have to go through hard things to end up on the other side. Obviously, it's for the best if you don't. Not everyone needs to go through that. I really hope that none of you watching this have gone through a situation like that, but fact of the matter is that a lot of us have, and a lot of us don't know how to talk about it. It's hard to talk about for sure, but it's one of the biggest curveballs of my life. And as soon as I left that relationship, the entire trajectory of my life changed for the positive, and I'm very thankful for it looking back. Now, the third and most recent relationship that I had, I would consider the easy and friendship love that blossomed into something more. This one is harder for me to explain because it was so different than my previous relationships. We had been friends for literally a decade, and it just kind of, we just fell into it, but it was never like the honeymoon stage of excitement and, you know, meeting someone new and getting to know them. It was a totally different process. And while I definitely did love him, because of the friendship aspect, it was so confusing to me on how I was supposed to feel, and I was definitely comparing it to the way that I had felt previously in the excitement, and it was different with him. It felt supernatural and good and fun to be with him, and I really definitely enjoyed our relationship, but I realized by the end it was one where we were just meant to be friends, and I'm glad that we gave it a shot. I'm glad we tried it out because we did so many fun things together. Like, we talk about it to this day, how crazy that was. But I believe that we both deserve a more passionate love that we are so excited about. Like, and you have the honeymoon stage where you just want to see them all the time, talk to them all the time, and have that excitement. And now we're here. I've been single for a little over a year and a half, and I've definitely been putting myself out there. I have been trying, but finding the perfect person is not easy. And no one said it was going to be easy, but it's certainly not easy. 2023, I dated the most that I've ever dated in my entire adult life. I met a lot of guys that I learned a lot about what I truly want in a partner, what I need. I learned a lot about myself, which is a nice plus. And I definitely met some guys that I saw potential in, like I actually had feelings for. And I used to think that like I am shut off. I cannot feel things for anybody. I never feel things for anyone. But meeting as many people as I did last year, I realized that I actually can feel things for guys. And while it didn't work out with literally a single one of the guys that I liked last year, it gave me hope. Every single one of them reminded me that I can feel that way. And if I can feel that excited about the wrong person, how good it's gonna feel when I meet the right person, to have those feelings reciprocated. And I know that that's out there because if I could feel it for other guys, I could feel it again. There are so many people you're gonna love in your life that you haven't even met yet. And I can tell you that for sure, because there are so many people in my life right now that I love that I would not have met if I stayed in LA. Every single choice you make leads you onto another path and another journey. And while the unknown is scary, there is 100,000% going to be more love in your life. Like, we are young. There are so many years ahead of us, and it would be foolish to think that you are never gonna find love in all of these years ahead. There's so much time, and I think the hardest part about being at the end of your 20s is the pressure that people put on you to have it all at 30. So if you needed a reminder, you do not expire at 30. You're not married at 30 with kids at 30, maybe 31, maybe 32. Look at Taylor Swift, love of her life at 34. Your potential to find love does not end when you turn 30. I'm so tired of that expectation because I would so much rather be alone and be patient and wait to meet the perfect person than settle for somebody just for the sake of being married at 30. That is so many years to spend with the wrong person when you can just wait another year or 2 or 5 or 10 and then have the rest of your life with them. Like, it is so foolish for people to settle. I just don't see the point. I would love to be in love. I love love. It's such a magical thing, and it will happen for me, for you, for anyone that's out there that is struggling right now. It will happen. Everyone is on a different timeline in every regard, and no one's just gonna look the same, and there's no point in comparing it. There's just no point. So no more comparison. If you're single, your love is out there, my love is out there. And in the meantime, love yourself. I very, very rarely feel lonely, like very rarely, because I truly love my time by myself. I love it. Like, if I have a busy week, I am adding to my calendar day with self or night with self. Like, I like my own company. I like watching my things. I like my own hobbies. I like reading my books. But when you love yourself truly, no one can take that away from you. And you will not put up with the bullshit. You will not do it. Your single season could be a lot shorter than you think it is, and nobody wants to waste that. I sure as heck don't. I do not want to look back one day and be like, I did not do enough of my solo shit. So I'm taking it in now. I enjoy it. I enjoy every day that I have to myself, because one day I'm not gonna have that, and there's gonna be a boy here. So I'm gonna enjoy my space while I have it all to myself. It's a beautiful thing. tastes so much better than it looks. It looks like just like a blob. But this is gonna be delicious. Well, I hope so at least. Let me try a little bite. Dancing in your kitchen alone and singing while you cook dinner is so underrated. It's so much fun. You get to be as free as can be. Nobody's watching you and you can just make a fool out of yourself. It's the best. Cheers. It's delicious. It's delicious. Originally, I was thinking of ordering in dinner like some Chinese food or I don't know. But tonight I really wanted my little dance party. I think cooking is so fun, especially when I like actually try. Fun to do alone, something I've always loved doing also in relationships. Both being single and being in a relationship come with different pros and cons and things that they're gonna change in your life. So I just strongly believe in embracing wherever you're at, especially being single when, you know, you don't really have so much control over when you find a partner. You may as well embrace it, you know? I personally like to use it as an opportunity to grow on my own. But it's much easier to work on yourself when you don't have anyone else's needs involved in your life. You get to be selfish and fully focus on yourself and figure out who you are, figure out who you want to be. It's much easier to do alone. So that's how I like to spend my time. Working on myself and then chilling. Sleepy Girl mocktail, which includes 1 scoop of magnesium glycinate, not the other kind, because that will do other things to you. Some tart cherry juice. This promotes good sleep, which we prioritize, especially when we are not stressing over men. It's much easier to have a good sleep. Literally, I have the best sleep when I don't have a single man in my mind, topped with sparkling water. I am as chill as can be until I'm stressed about a guy. So for now, we have good sleep. All right, guys, we have made it into bed. Cheers. Today went too fast, honestly. I feel like it was such a good day. Spent the evening doing things that I love, relaxing, chilling, reading my book, spending time with myself. It's been such a wonderful day. And before I end this video, I want to talk about 5 things that I learned about love throughout my 20s. There's a million and one things that you learn, but we're going to talk about 5. The first being that the expectation of finding a partner and having a relationship will bring you happiness is so not true. I truly believe that you need to find happiness in yourself to truly be happy in life. You cannot count on somebody else to bring you that happiness, to provide you happiness. Putting that pressure on somebody else is unrealistic and unfair, and it's just going to cause issues. And there are so many ways of finding that within yourself. Discovering new hobbies, spending time with friends, spending time by yourself, trying new things, doing things that scare you. There is so much you can do to work on your own personal happiness, and I think that that is number 1. I am the happiest I've ever been in my life now on my own, and at this point a partner would just be an extra bonus, and that is what I think they should be. The second thing is that platonic love can be just as strong, if not stronger, than romantic love. It is so easy for people to forget about their friends when they find a significant other. It is so easy, and I have definitely been the person to do that in the past. It's easy to have this one person you think you can rely on, but your friends are so important and so valuable. I have never had such strong female friendships than I do right now, and I will never ever take that for granted, because your friends will always be there for you through everything. Jill and I have always talked about how we feel like we're soulmates, like we're platonic soulmates, and it's really cool meeting a friend like Sarah, who I haven't known for as long as I've known Jill, but the closeness that we feel and the way that I feel like I can trust her and talk to her about everything. I always feel heard and understood when I share what I'm going through and my thoughts, and I think it's so special to have friendships like that that are not romantic. I have friends like Leandra and Maddie who I've seen go through so many different stages of life that we will always be there for each other, and my female friendships are just so important to me, and I will never take them for granted, and neither should you. The third thing that I've learned is that you will always one day understand why things didn't work out with somebody. You might meet somebody that you think is perfect for you, you. You have everything aligned with them. You feel so strong about them, but it just didn't work out. It's so hard in the moment to understand why this happened. Like, why did you go through this? But I can promise you that every single time that happens, you will one day look back and understand. Everything happens for a reason, and I really believe that if it's meant to be, it will be. And if it didn't, it wasn't meant for you, and something better is coming. But unfortunately, you have to wait it out, and time truly heals everything. So if you're going through it, just know one day you're gonna look back and you're gonna get it, and you're gonna be like, whoa, I'm so glad because it was so much better in the end. The fourth thing is that love is not always enough. You can love somebody with your entire heart, but if your values aren't aligned and your futures, you don't want the same thing, like, love is not going to be enough to get you through because you don't want the same things out of life. And that can be really hard. And I try to learn that stuff kind of early on so that you don't get too invested. And again, this is why we don't put all of our happiness in one person, because there's way too much reliance on them for everything. And that is not a good place to be in. It is not healthy. And those are the times that you can end up in situations for a lot longer than you want to, because you put so much of yourself into them versus, you know, have them be a part of your life. All in all, love is not enough. You have to have so much more to last long term. And the fifth thing that I learned is to trust your gut. Your gut will always know. It will always know. If you have to search things about your relationship, like, do I feel this, or is this right? You know, you already know the answer. And that's something that I should have known a long time ago. The first time you search anything on Google, it should be a little bit of a red flag flying. Your gut will always know what's right and what's wrong and how you're feeling. And if something feels off to you, you know, you gotta kind of trust yourself. And the more that you ignore your own gut, the harder it is for you to trust yourself long term. Now, with somebody that has anxiety and I overthink the heck out of things, sometimes I have a hard time listening to my gut, because I'm like, what if this is just in my head? What if I'm overthinking things? Still looking back, I would say most of the time, like 98%, I should have just trusted my gut. Love is a tricky thing, and we are all searching for it in one way or another. But if you're single and you were single this Valentine's Day, I hope you had a fantastic day. I hope that you know, no matter what you feel, your feelings are valid. Don't ever look at relationships online and compare yourself to those, because there's so much more depth than you will ever see from an Instagram story. Like, you cannot compare. It's so easy to post a cute little picture and you know nothing about what's going on behind the scenes. So never compare yourself to social media. That's with relationships and people's lives. People have so much more depth than could ever be displayed on a social media platform. Keep that in mind. You're all humans just going through the human experience for the first time, probably. I mean, as far as we know, we're all learning every single day. So give yourself some grace, give yourself some extra love. If you made it to the end of this video, comment down below some things that you have learned about love in your life. We can all share some wisdom with each other down below. But that is it for today. I'm gonna drink my little sleepy girl mocktail, and I will see you in the next vlog. Love you.